There are four economic forces that we are all up against: interest, taxes, inflation, and opportunity costs. Every one of them is pulling money away from you right now, whether you feel it or not. And here's the good news. The infinite banking concept solves all four. In this video, I'm going to briefly explain what infinite banking is. Then I'm going to walk you through the four forces one at a time and show you why becoming your own bank works. Quick note on who this is for. If you have a net worth of $5 million or less, this video is for you. This does not apply to the ultra wealthy. At their level, these forces do not impact their lifestyles the way they impact the middle class. But even if that's you, this can still help. Before we get into it, let me introduce myself. My name is Elridge. I'm an investor and private lender here in New Orleans. I run an active $2 million lending portfolio. My partner and I also run our vertical capital bankers community. Everything I'm about to show you is built on the same tools we use to help members like Keith, Will, Russell, Eltis, and many others build their own banking system. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'll start by quickly explaining what infinite banking is. It is founded by Nelson Nash, the author of Becoming Your Own Banker. At its core, it is simple. Instead of relying on banks, credit cards, and outside lenders to finance your life, you become your own source of financing. You use your own capital and you pay yourself back with interest. Here's what most people miss. Infinite banking is not about insurance. It is about replacing all the finance functions in your life with your own banking system. Your cars, your real estate, your investments, even your own vacations, all funded through your own bank. To build that bank, you first have to capitalize it. That just means funding it, whether it's a brokerage account, a whole life insurance policy, an index universal life insurance policy, or another holding vehicle. So you have the capital to lend. And the word lend is the whole thing. Banking is a verb. If you are not lending your money and recapturing interest, you are not doing infinite banking. You are just storing money. A real bank does not sit on its deposits. It puts them to work. Hold on to that because it is what lets you flip all forces in your favor. The first economic force is interest. The average American spends 34.5% of their income on interest alone. Not on a car, not on a house, on interest attached to all of it. Your mortgage, your car note, your credit cards, your student loans. More than a third of your income leaves and never comes back. That is the losing side of interest. Now the other side, when you become your own bank, you stop paying that interest and you start recapturing it. You finance your life through your own capital and pay yourself back with interest. That interest does not disappear anymore. It comes back to you. Think about your mortgage. What if you paid it off, but you were paying your own bank? You keep the interest and you build your net worth. If you are in real estate like I am, it goes further. Imagine you held a mortgage on every one of your rental properties. Now you are not just collecting rent. You are collecting the mortgage payments too. That is velocity. That is banking. There is one rule that makes this real. You have to be an honest banker. You pay yourself back with interest every time. And hear this clearly. This one move by itself can take you to 6 or 7 figures. If all you ever did was recapture the interest you are already spending and route it back to your own bank, that alone compounds to 6 or 7 figures over time. You're not earning more, you're just keeping what was always leaving. Now imagine flipping all 4. Real quick, if I'm adding any value, hit the like button, subscribe button, and hype button. It will help this video get in front of more people. Now back to it. The second force is inflation, and this one is sneaky because most people lose to it while they are convinced they are winning. Most people measure success in nominal dollars, the number on paper. Let's say you invested $100,000 and you got back $150,000, so you made money, but you never ask what those dollars can buy. Nominal dollars tell you how much you have on paper. Real dollars tell you the purchasing power after inflation. I call the gap the profit delusion. Quick example. I used this example before, but it does a great job to bring the point to life. Let's say bagels cost $1. So $100,000 buy 100,000 bagels. 5 years later, inflation pushes the price to $1.40. And that same $100,000 only buys about 71,000 bagels. Same money, less purchasing power. Now, say you made a $40,000 profit. After taxes, it's really about $28,000. And when you do the real math, you went backwards. You made a profit and still lost ground. So who wins during inflation? not the person holding cash. Inflation rewards asset owners and people who use leverage. This is why I admire banks. They do not sit on your deposits. They deploy them into loans and assets because the dollars they pay back in the future are worth less than the dollars they lend today. I hope that makes sense. That is the Cantillonian effect. The early users of money win. The people holding idle cash lose. Watch how you get on the receiving side. Investor 1 buys an asset with $100,000 of his own cash. All 5 years, inflation is eating that full $100,000 of purchasing power. Investor 2 uses strategic debt. The bank funds 70%, so he only brings $30,000. Same asset, same profit, but only $30,000 of his purchasing power is exposed to inflation, not $100,000. Leverage shifted most of his inflation damage off his capital and onto the lender. When you become your own bank and borrow and lend strategically, you stop being a saver inflation punishes and start being a lender paid back in cheaper dollars. That is the receiving side of inflation. If this example was hard to understand, go check out my video here where I go deeper on inflation. The third force is taxes, the one that quietly takes a cut of everything you build. Go back to the bagels. Your $40,000 profit became $28,000 after taxes. That is the tax drag. For most people, every dollar of growth gets taxed, and every time their money moves, they trigger another taxable event. They hold capital in checkings, savings, or a regular brokerage account, all fully taxable. The money grows, the government takes a piece. The money moves, it takes another. And here's the flip. You lower your taxes by storing capital in a tax advantage environment instead of a taxable one. This is why the vehicle matters. When we capitalize our bank, one place we hold capital is in index universal life insurance policy. Inside it, the cash value grows tax advantage tied to the market index up to 11%. And it is not taxed the way a brokerage account is. The real move is how you access it. Most people sell an asset or pull money out, and that is a taxable event. We borrow against our capital instead. A loan against policy cash value at around 5% is not income, so it's not taxed. And your money keeps growing behind the loan as if you never touched it. It grows without the yearly tax drag, and you access it without the tax hit on the way out. That is one way we use to lower taxes. The fourth force is opportunity cost, and this is the biggest one of them all. Opportunity cost is what your money could have earned somewhere else while it still sits doing one job. For most people, a dollar can only be in one place. In a savings account, it earns savings account interest and nothing else. Spent on a car, it is gone and earns nothing. Your dollar does one job, and every other job it could have done is money left on the table. Becoming your own bank gets a single dollar working in two places at once. Take the IUL policy. That money grows in the policy tied to the index up to 11%. That is job one, and it never stops. We do not pull it out. We borrow against the cash value at 5%. And because it is a loan, the full cash value keeps growing behind it. So follow the dollar. It is still in the policy compounding at 11%. That is job one. The borrowed money goes out and gets lent through vertical capital at 13%. That is job two. $1, two jobs at the same time. The average person has to choose, grow it or use it. We do not choose. There is almost no opportunity cost left because the dollar never gives up one job to do another. That is velocity. That is what becoming your own bank unlocks. So let's bring this all the way home. The average person is not losing to one of these at a time. They are losing to all four at once, every day, and they never see it. You earn a dollar, interest takes a piece when you finance it through someone else's bank. Inflation shrinks what it can buy while it still sits. Taxes take a cut when it grows and another when you move it. Opportunity cost takes everything it could have earned elsewhere. Four forces, $1 at the same time. That is why people run faster and still do not get ahead. And here's the real secret. Becoming your own bank flips all four with the same move. You capitalize your bank so it grows tax advantage. You borrow against it instead of pulling it out so it keeps compounding and inflation works against your loan instead of you. You lend that money and recapture interest so you collect it instead of paying it. And the money does two jobs at once, so opportunity cost becomes your advantage. $1, one system, all four flip. On paper, holding cash and staying out of debt looks safe, but that is the part nobody explains. Idle, unleveraged, taxable cash is the one position that loses to all four forces at once. The dollar that is capitalized, borrowed against, lent out, and compounded is the one that turns every force around. And remember, just one force, interest alone, can carry you to 6 to 7 figures. We just flipped all four. Now you understand the four forces and why becoming your own bank works. Inside our community, we show you which vehicle to use, how to structure the policy so your cash value is maximized early, how to set the borrowing and lending up so the numbers work. It is free to join. We give you the spreadsheets, the tools, and the framework, and we build your banking system with you step by step. The link is in the description. If this showed you something new, subscribe to the channel and like this video so it reaches someone else who is quietly losing to all four. And leave me a comment with this. Which of the four forces have you been losing to the longest? Interest, inflation, taxes, or opportunity cost? And I'll see you on the next video.